Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Retro Computing Ranch. And I wanted to do a quick intro on who I am. My name is Charles. My amateur radio call sign is KD5TKR. I have another channel out there where I do ham radio stuff called Bootstrap Workbench. And I'm looking to get a little bit more involved in vintage and retro computer repair. So as far as my history with computers goes, I was born in 1977, got my first computer in about 1983, 1984. It was actually a gaming system called the Magnavox Odyssey 2. The same year, my cousin who lived next door got a Commodore VIC-20. We spent quite a bit of time with that. And then my parents picked up a TI-99 4A for me. Now, of course, on these early computers, we didn't have any disk storage. These computers had all been bought at garage sales, and all you got was the computer and the power adapter. So no disk storage, no tape storage. You would enter your basic program and run it and have some fun with it for a while, modify it. Turn the computer off. The next time you went to use a computer, you had to re-enter that program or enter a different program or something. Taught you a lot about how to type, how to look for errors in programs, but not a whole lot of great computing experience there. Moving on from there, within the next couple of years, my parents picked me up a Tandy-Color Computer 2. Now on that one, we did end up getting a dataset recorder and the interface cable. I also had a 9-pin printer. So I had a ton of fun with that machine. Now, of course, if you were around back in that era, you know tape storage works, but it's not great. It's not a lot of fun. It does work, but it has its struggles. So use that for a few years, and then at a garage sale, I picked up a TRS-80 Model 3. Now that computer only lasted me for a little while. My boot disk ended up going bad, and I did not have a backup. And of course, back in the pre-internet days, I didn't have another way to get a boot disk. And so that machine sat unused for a couple of years. At one point, I was moving it, and I dropped it and snapped the neck on the CRT, and the machine was pretty much useless at that point. So then, in, I would say, 1991 or so, we bought a used IBM portable PC 5155, which I liked a lot. Amber screen, 20 meg hard drive, DOS 3.3 or 3.31, somewhere in there. As many games as you could fit into 20 megabytes along with some tools. And had a ton of fun with that for a couple of years. Spent a couple of summers mowing yards so I could buy a 46 SX33 machine, which I upgraded over time and got to last until I finished high school. And then from there on, once I was working in a computer store back in the mid-90s, I made use of my employee discount to get parts and cases and build my own machines. And it was a continuous work in progress since then. Now I have owned other machines that aren't x86 machines. I had an Apple IIe at one point, had an Apple IIe, couple of Apple IIe clones, Franklin Ace machines. I actually have one in storage now that I'm going to be working on soon, a Franklin Ace 500. Also had some Macs, Mac Plus, a 2LC, a Quadra machine. I think it was an 840 or a 940, something like that. One of the AV series machines that could do video capture. The only thing I have currently is I have a Macintosh Plus in storage, not the original one that I had, but a different one I picked up at one point. Also in storage currently, I have 4 or 5 different K-Pros. One of them I've upfitted with a Gotek, and I really like the build quality on the machines. I like the way CPM works. So I'm going to be getting those back out at some point soon and seeing what I can do with them. I also have a pile of Timex Sinclairs, I think 3 or 4 Timex Sinclairs in the conventional packaging. And then I also have one that has been repackaged into kind of an aftermarket setup, which is nice because it doesn't have the membrane keyboard. It actually has, I believe this is probably a Dome or some type of membrane keyboard, but it has actual keys, much easier to type on. Now, as far as professional experience goes, I did say I worked in a computer store. I worked in a couple of them, a couple of different times. I've also worked in retail computer repair, retail computer sales. Worked at like Best Buy, a few other places. Um, and then other than that, I have some conventional bricks and mortar type training in electronics repair. I have an associate's degree in computer and electronics repair that I got from a technical college. I worked at a large state data center, and while I was there, I did monitoring of an AS400 system, watched some COBOL jobs, and an old batch control system. Where I sat at, we had a window that looked out into the data center, and we could see rows and rows of IBM Z series stuff, all fantastic looking. The color scheme changes every time they release new hardware, and all really cool stuff. Never allowed to touch any of it, never allowed to run any software on it. The group that actually ran software on it was in a different part of the building, and so we kept an eye on the hardware for them. Other than that, I like retro computing stuff. I like vintage computing stuff. I like mini computers. I like mainframes. Pretty much anything I can get my hands on, even embedded stuff like Motorola, NVMe. And I have a few of those systems as well that I'm going to be doing some work on shortly. So we got plenty of stuff coming up on the channel. I hope I can add something to the discussion online. I know there's a lot of people out there that have retro computing channels. So hopefully I can add to it. And wanted to thank everybody for watching. Tell you to have a great day. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. And as far as everything else goes, you all know how YouTube works. So have a great evening, and thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.